Hi, everybody. I am Angelique, also known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. So it's crazy because I've had this YouTube channel since 2015. I started out talking about narcissism, and I've never did a video about the trauma responses. All right, what is it? Fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And what made me say, oh, let me do a video on fawning is that I've been doing people pleasing videos lately, whether it's in my live or TikTok, and I put the videos here on YouTube. And that is one of the trauma responses is fawning. And to me, fawning is just people pleasing, right? And I grew up in a narcissistic home. I dated narcissists. I was friends with narcissists for many years. So I know narcissists like the back of my hand. You can go back and watch all my old videos about all different types of narcissistic characters, family members, how to deal with narcissism, and all that good stuff. Okay. So if you're looking for videos on narcissism, then go through my whole catalog. Okay. Going back to 2015. It's crazy. But when I was on live, somebody was like, oh, maybe a person who's people pleasing, they're just fawning. They're just fawning. And yeah, that is true, but some people didn't grow up around narcissists. Their home was just toxic, or they fawn, or they people please because their parents didn't teach them boundaries. Their parents did not teach them, how to love themselves. Okay. So not everyone who's people pleasing grew up in a narcissistic home. So I just want to put that out there. So not everyone who's a people pleaser is fawning. Okay. So I am going to do a video on fight, flight, and freeze. But this video is on fawning. I did a little bit more research, even though I've been through it and I used to fawn as well because I grew up in a narcissistic home. My stepfather who raised me was a narcissist. My biological father was a narcissist. All my grandparents were narcissists. Disgusting, horrible. A lot of people in my family, they deceased now, but they were narcissists. I grew up around them, and that was what I was used to. And fawning, I used that a lot with my stepfather who was a narc. And I think I really built a lot of people pleasing where you just don't want to disturb the narcissist, right? So you people please, you do what they want you to do, you say what you know they want to hear, and you do that so that way you stay safe. But what happens is you're fawning with these narc family members or friends, but when you even get away from these narcissists, you still continue to do it, and you live in this cycle of being used, being abused, because nobody respects people pleasers. I'm telling you, nobody respects people who don't have boundaries. Nobody really likes people who don't love themselves. They only like to use you, right? And this is why you have to start getting therapy, building up your self-esteem, saying no, having boundaries. That's the only way you're going to break fawning. Okay, so yes, subscribe, stay a while, comment if you used to fawn or you still fawning and trying to get out of it. Tell your story in the comment section. Click like on this video, share it, all that good stuff for me. All right, so I have some notes here. And so basically, fawning is a trauma response. When you're going through something traumatic, your body will have a certain response to this. Okay, so let me give you an example of fawning. Right. So say if you're dealing with a narcissist, right? I'll use myself because it's easier for me to use myself. So whenever I was dealing with this narcissist, I would fawn to people please him, even when I knew he was wrong. A lot of times we know the narcissist is wrong, right? And he used me as a golden child, believe it or not, even though I wasn't his biological child. And he made his biological daughter, my stepsister, he made her the black sheep. Okay. He made her pretty much like the scapegoat. But in order to make her look bad or make himself look good in certain situations, I knew that he was wrong. I knew that he was abusive and doing certain things, but I got compensated for the abuse, right? Excuse me. I got compensated for the abuse. So I would fawn. So he would literally put me on the spot and be like, Angelique, did I say this or did I do that? And I'd be like, no, Dad, no, you didn't. And I would lie. And people are looking at me like, why are you lying for him? I would literally lie for him. To me, that is fawning, lying for the narcissist, lying that you don't want to do something or you don't want to say something, right? The narcissist puts you in these weird situations, putting you on the spot, having you defend them, having you make them look good. That's how I started fawning, okay? And as I got older, even though I got away from that narc and I went no contact, I started fawning in my friendships. I knew that they wasn't shit. I knew that they were wrong. I kept just people pleasing and it just kept getting further and further. They'll disrespect me. I would still fawn. I would people please, still do the favors for them, still say things to make them sound good or look good. And to me, that was my form of people pleasing. I always saw what they were doing, but I still kept people pleasing and defending bad behavior, narcissistic behavior. Okay. And you do this to survive. You lie to survive. You're people pleasing to survive. But now you might not even live with the narc anymore. You may not even be around narcissistic friends anymore, right? So you have to get out of that cycle of fawning. All right. So signs that you're fawning, right? Or people who fawn, you're always apologizing. Okay. This is very annoying now that I'm like around people and I meet people who are always apologizing. It's very annoying. It could just be anything like, I don't know, they like stepped on your toe by mistake, but not that hard. It's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I stepped on your toe. It's like, chill out, relax. And it's sad because that person is literally traumatized from how they grew up, right? They'll even apologize for things that you did. Okay. Like you bumped into them and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I bumped into you. And you're like, actually, I bumped into you. So when you're overly apologizing, you're apologizing for just being your natural self. You're apologizing for any little thing, unnecessary apologies. So this is people who fawn, they're going to be apologizing all the time. And you're going to notice these people, it seems abnormal, okay? And that came from them always having to apologize when they're in their narcissistic home growing up. Even when the narcissist was wrong, they had to apologize to the narcissist. The narcissist gaslit them into thinking that they were wrong for maybe sticking up for themselves or addressing the issue. And they in turn got gaslit by the narcissist and they over apologize. So people who fawn, aka people pleasers, because that's basically what it is, they end up over apologizing. They overshare, okay? So people who fawn and people please, they don't have very close connections with people. They don't have a lot of genuine friends around them, okay? And it's sad because they're so used to narcs, they're so used to toxic individuals. It kind of makes it hard for them to make these good friends or to make these genuine friends. A lot of them wouldn't even know a genuine friend if they came across them, right? A lot of them, or they don't even have the skills to kind of keep those friendships. So a lot of people who are fawners, I think that's a word, who are people pleasers, they, by the time they do meet a genuine person, they're like vomiting all their business to people, right? So I always can tell when this is a foreigner when I meet them, because they're just telling me everything. It's not just because I'm an empath or I'm a chosen one or something like that. It's like the foreigner is literally craving connection. You are so desperate um to meet someone and talk to them because you can't. Everybody around you or whoever you grew up around, they were toxic. Now you finally met someone who you're able to talk to. And I did this. I actually pushed a very good friend away because I was surrounded by narcissists, and she just didn't understand, like, why was I allowing these particular friends to mistreat me. And I would randomly text her. I would even say, "Hey, how you doing?" I used to randomly text her and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're not gonna believe what so and so did to me. I can't believe this is happening. I can't take this anymore." And it's like that overwhelmed her. I see why she cut my ass off. Okay, so a lot of you fawners, you don't even realize you're not really good friends because there is no joy, there is no identity, there is nothing really to talk about but your trauma. A lot of time, you might be a good person, but you're so stuck on talking about your trauma because there's no one to talk about it with if you don't have a therapist, right? Or a life coach or whoever. So by the time you really meet a good friend, you don't have that space to, like, oh, let me get to know them. Let's have fun. You're just so happy to be able to have someone to dump your shit on, right? So be very wary of that. And then a lot of times you'll complain and be like, nobody wants to be my friend. Maybe because all you're talking about is your trauma because you waited so long to be able to share these things with people. All right. All right. Let's see. You think you're closer to people than you really are. This is huge. This is something that I just kept getting played with when I was a fawner, right? Um, Fawners, like I said, they go so long with making genuine connections with people, and they kind of fantasize. I think like it's almost kind of like damn, what is that word? Oh my gosh. It's like a delusional type of thing that fawners create because you go so long without having that connection, and you haven't had many genuine connections. So it's like you place them in a position that you didn't even get to yet, right? Oh my gosh, we're best friends. Oh my gosh, I think we're talking, we're dating, and slow down, you know. So I can always tell when a person's a people pleaser, you know, they're fawning because they have this delusion about being closer to people than they really are. So this is something I notice about fawners as well. Um, what is it? You blame others' emotions on yourself. Oh, you blame other people's emotions on yourself. Ooh, I used to do this a lot, okay? Um, so you'll stay up late, or you know, you're up early in the morning and you're overthinking, okay? Foreigners are people pleasers, are big time overthinkers, right? And you create these scenarios in your head where you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't they say XYZ this time when they normally say XYZ? Like you start to overthink. That person could be sad that day, could be mad that day, something could have happened to them. You automatically think that that person's mood has everything to do with you, right? So people pleasers, y'all are perfect detectives, okay? Investigators, because that's how you survived, right? So it's a defense mechanism. So you're very good at reading emotions, but guess what? Yes, you read that person's emotion, but it don't mean it got something to do with you. Okay, they were sad that day. What did you do to them to make them sad? Nothing. They just walked in the room. They're sad. Maybe she's sad because she got her period that day. Maybe he's sad because his cat died. You know, so foreigners, they are intelligent because they had to use that hypersensitivity to emotions, aka empath, and figure out, I don't know how the narcissist is feeling today. So I gotta guess their emotions. We've been doing this since we were kids. Just like the narcissist been scamming and mistreating people and watching people's moves, the the um the person that grew up with narcissists, right? They also they learn that skill as well so that they can survive. Okay, let me see how mommy is feeling today. Let me see how daddy is feeling today so I know how to survive. I know how to protect myself and get through the day with this narc. So, but the problem is as you get older, you don't know how to separate it just because somebody's feeling some kind of way doesn't mean that you got to blame yourself for how they feel. There's a people pleaser I used to work with when I worked at some customer service job, I'm going to say. I don't want to say the company's name. And one day I came into work and I said, look, guys, I'm not feeling well today. I am going to be very quiet today at work. I'm going through a lot, and I just wanted to let y'all know. This freaking coworker, like as a day went by, she started crying. And I thought, okay, maybe she's just a Cancer, because she was a Cancer sign. And I was like, girl, why are you crying? I just feel like, you're not having a good day because of me. And I just can't. And I don't understand. Like, what did I do? I said, girl, please go to the back, collect yourself, go to the bathroom, go on a break. I said, what the hell does my bad day have to do with you when I already explained to you from the time I came into work that I'm not feeling well today? I'm allowed to feel this. So foreigners don't even understand that they actually end up pushing people away because you think that you are controlling people's emotions because that's what the narcissist told you. I'm having a bad day because of you. Okay? I'm sick because of you. All right? I had my grandmother when she was dying of cancer, a narcissistic witch told me, I have cancer because of you. Okay? So you have this embedded in your mind from how you grew up. And you actually think that you are controlling people's emotions. It's your fault that they're sad, that they're mad, that they're having a bad day. So foreigners will blame themselves on other people's emotions. Okay, what else I got here? Ooh, you cannot make simple decisions. This one drives me crazy whenever I'm around a people pleaser. This actually turns me off from being friends with them. So whenever I'm dealing with a people pleaser friend of mine, it makes me overwhelmed to be friends with them because I literally feel I have to think twice. Okay, I feel like I'm with a child. Normally, if you're with a child, normally you will say you have to make a decision for that child because you're the adult. That's how I feel when I'm around people pleasers. I literally feel I am the parent and they are the child. I am the adult and they are the child. So a friend of mine who's a people pleaser, every time we're about to go out to dinner, he'll hit me up and say, "Hey, I would like to take you out to dinner." And I'll say, "Okay, thank you. Where would you like to go?" "I don't know." What? Okay. So I'll say, "What are you craving?" "I don't know. What are you craving?" Wait, what? Okay. Um, it's so bad that when we go to we I so now me, the woman, I have to now pick what we're gonna eat. I have to what kind of food. Now I have to go search for the restaurant. Now I have to make the reservation. And even when we get to the restaurant, he doesn't even know what to order. Doesn't know what to order. He's watching me to see what I'm going to eat. Every people pleaser I know has done this with me. I have had people pleasers change their order because they saw me ordering salmon and salad, but they really wanted steak. But a lot of people pleasers want to be impressive or seem like they have this connection with you. And it's so bad. And it's because the narcissist, when you were growing up with them, they did not they didn't give you space to make decisions. So now that you're an adult, you don't even know how to pick the damn foods you want to eat. You don't even know where your birth certificate and social security card is. You don't even know how to make a doctor's appointment on your own. You don't even know you have to build credit. You don't even know maybe how to even wash yourself properly, because there's a lot that you wasn't taught by the narcissist. It's sad. It gets this bad, okay? So growing up with these narcs really, really jack you up. It really does. So this is something that really makes my skin crawl when I'm dealing with fawners, people pleasers, because they can't even make simple decisions. And you have to understand, if you fawn, if you people please, you're going to exhaust your lover. You're going to exhaust your husband and your wife. You're going to exhaust your friends eventually. Nobody wants to be around an adult who can't make simple decisions of, I don't know what to eat. I don't know what to wear. I don't even know what I like. Because what happens is, all these years that you've been people pleasing, your true identity has been leaving. You have no identity. I want you to know that. You have no identity. You don't even know what you like anymore. You don't even know where you want to go anymore. You just don't know. Okay? And look at me people pleasing, because I'm a content creator. Excuse my appearance, okay? I just hopped out the shower and really wanted to get this video done, okay? Let me see. People pleasers also could become sick, depressed, have horrible anxiety, okay? Eventually, trauma responses like this breaks down the body, all right? So a lot of, something I notice with people pleasers, bad hygiene. Not all of you, not all of you, but you abandon yourself. You abandon yourself. If you're so busy people pleasing, that means you're abandoning yourself. So sad to say, a lot of friends that I've had, they abandon their hygiene. My friend doesn't even go to the dentist. His breath is kind of funky. You abandon your hygiene. Some people pleasers end up abandoning their looks because you just don't care anymore. All you care about is serving others. All you care about is doing for everybody else, putting everybody else first and not putting yourself first. So a lot of times you end up looking a hot mess when you're a people pleaser. You don't care. Why would you care? You start to lose your identity. And a lot of you can end up having autoimmune diseases. I've seen some people pleasers start breaking out, acne, all kind of rashes and all different type of things. Their body literally starts to break down. And you can go mentally crazy, because if you think about it, if you're always doing for people and never putting yourself first, you're abandoning your soul. Your soul is knocking, going, hello, hello. When are you going to nurture us? When are you going to heal? When are you going to wash your ass? When are you going to do your hair? When are you going to brush your teeth? When are you going to eat healthy foods or drink water? Or this is why they don't like when they start seeing you looking good, losing weight, because you're investing in yourself, eating healthy, drinking water, doing all these things that you need to do. They don't like to see that. Okay? Something else I know about people pleasers, they feel guilty buying themselves nice things. Ooh, this is something I really, really notice, and even I still struggle with this, even though you see me wearing nice stuff and I do travel and stuff like that. Guys, I go through this where I feel in my head like, should I spend that money? Should I do this? Should I spend it? I don't know. Do I deserve this? I literally used to watch this people pleaser girl. She makes good money. She would always buy. You see, there's nothing wrong with buying things that are cheap, but buy things that are cheap with quality. Okay. Um, I watched her pick up a $5 shirt. She didn't know I was watching her in the store, and she kept going like this on the rack. She kept looking at the tag, putting it back on the rack, looking at the tag, picking it up. She kept doing this. And I walked over to her. So, you're gonna buy that shirt? No, it's $5. I'm gonna put it back. What? And every time we went shopping together, she would say, "Oh, let's go shopping." But when we went out, she wouldn't buy anything. She liked to just walk and look at stuff, but she never bought anything. She liked a lot of jewelry. And one day she said, "Oh, this necklace I bought made my neck green." I said, "You make good money. Why aren't you buying gold, or at least, plate it?" "No, it's just too expensive." She was purposely buying herself fake gold and still kept it on, and her neck had a ring of green. See, this is things that they do. My friend, that's a people pleaser, one day we went out to dinner and something said, "Look down at his shoes." The bottom of his shoes were gone. It was a dress shoe. The bottom of the shoe was gone. So a lot of people pleasers will feel like they will spend their money on other people first. That same girl that had a problem buying herself a $5 shirt bought a guy that she was sleeping with an Apple Watch. Y'all know how much Apple Watches cost? I'm not an Apple girl. So you bought someone else an Apple Watch, but you had a hard time buying yourself a $5 shirt. So you know what that means? You see yourself as a $5 hoe. Yep, that's what she saw herself as. She saw herself as a $5 hoe. A lot of people will give their last to people, and they will suffer. And this is why you have got to break this cycle. I'm going to finish up because I don't want this video to be over 30 minutes. Hopefully this information awakened you and said, "Oh my God, am I fawning? Am I people pleasing?" And if so, you better get your healing done. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you're always worried about everybody else's business. All right. So a lot of people pleasers will sit on social media. You know what? A lot of people pleasers could be monitoring spirits. Yes, a lot of people pleasers could end up becoming monitoring spirits. Okay. They'll sit on social media. You're watching, you're comparing, you're trying to guess people's behaviors. A lot of people pleasers watch what their friends and family, what they're eating, what products they use, what they're doing. You and everybody business but your own. Because you have to understand, you have to study. The people pleaser studies you. Okay, the foreigner will study you because they need to know, how can I please them? Oh my gosh, I noticed that she likes candles, so I'm going to get her all these candles. And this is why I say fawning, people pleasing is a form of manipulation to get what you want from people. Go check that other video out in my live on people pleasing that I did last week. But yes, fawners be in everybody's business, but they own because they're technically in the business of people pleasing. So they have to find out, what are your likes and your dislikes? What are your favorite foods? What are your favorite brands? What are your favorite things? Right? And this is a sure sign. You like, wait a minute, they're always in everybody else's business, but not their own. Because technically, people pleasers don't really get that much business. They really don't, because they are trying to manipulate and hustle their way into feeling safe. Okay. So this is a psychological thing, guys. All right. This is not just somebody woke up one day and decided to do this, this is a cycle of psychological damage is done to the brain, all right? And your body is going to respond to trauma in different ways. And fawning, people pleasing is one way that you're trying to stay safe. But even when you're out, if you're somebody who still lives with a narcissist, I understand why you're doing this, okay? So I'm not being an asshole about it. But if you're no longer in the narcissistic home, you need to start your healing, because if not, all your relationships would be people using you, okay? Research fawning, research people pleasing. I'm not going to do another video on fawning. But hopefully this information helped you. And I did cover everything, and I'm going to do videos, like I said before, on fight, flight, and freeze, because definitely I have done all of these trauma responses, okay? But I was a big time fawner and people pleaser, and now I just do not care. You know, I don't care anymore, and it feels so freeing and so good to be in that. And how I got out of fawning is that, you know, I started doing shadow work, I started doing healing work, I left religion, I became a spiritual person. And when I created boundaries and I started saying no, people started to disappear. Was it painful to be alone? It was, but it also felt good to be at peace, and I no longer had to drain myself. People pleasing is draining, and it will break you down mentally, spiritually, and physically. Okay. Don't forget, I do phone sessions as well. Spiritual life coaching. If you want to talk about narcissism, you want to talk about a particular zodiac that you're dating or friends with, if you want to talk about chosen one journey, your spiritual journey, or just relationships, anything you want to talk about, you can book a phone session with me, and my email me all my information on how to book me and how to donate to me. I do take donations in order for me to keep pumping out content. This is what I do for living. So all that information, how to send me a donation and book, will always be in the description bar, in the comment section. And if you do not see me in a couple of days, have an amazing Valentine's Day. Okay? It's still Love Month, and I hope you have a great February. And I will be back with, I think I'm going to do fight. I think I'm going to do fight next. Okay? The video of the 5 trauma responses. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, I think it's 4 or 5. I don't know. But I will be doing fight next. All right. Talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye.